How y'all doing? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up every day and hanging out with me on the interwebs. We're live on Rockfin. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. On Callin. And lots to talk about as usual. It's open for trying. I don't know. It's like in check, check, check. Is that any better? Let me know. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I haven't. I just saw bits and pieces of this story about the prosecutor. Um, well, first of all, Billing. What's up, William? How you doing? Billing. Billing. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Golly, there's so many stories. How you doing, William?
Hey, good morning, Kevin. Thanks for taking the call.
Yeah.
Well, dude, here's the way I see it. It's all a major clown show. Anything to distract us. It's like they put on these theatrical scenarios, in my opinion. Oh, who's having an affair with who? Who's having sex in Congress?
This is an interesting story though because this is Fannie Willis is prosecuting Trump, and I'm not sure which. He has several cases going. She's in Georgia, I think. So,
Yeah, Georgia.
but she billed the Biden White House for her time, which kind of is a direct. What people are saying is like this kind of shows that, right? She's doing it on the behest of the Biden administration, at the behest of the Biden administration. So openly prosecuting his political enemies. But the story gets.
Right.
But the story actually involves like more. There's actually more intrigue involved in it. I wish. Hold on. Where I don't know if I can find the other. I don't know if I can find the other story. Did I?
Well, can I comment on it in general then? Well,
Sure.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is it's like a Sherlock Holmes novel. They're just trying to entertain us with this bullshit. You follow me? Create some other sideshow drama here. Because the bottom line is that, I mean, nobody's talking about the Haldeman report, the 96-page Haldeman report that proves the Dominion voting machines are totally hackable 9 different ways, and that was allegedly buried by a judge in Georgia under seal, along with the Secretary of State covering it up, and you have an indictment out of there. I mean, again, you see what I'm saying? It's like they're throwing and spinning the plates, in my opinion, to create media narratives, and they got to have actors that are playing the good guys and the bad guys. Just have none of this is real. It's like if you actually crack down on things and look at things through the rule of law, and if you know
Yeah.
things were working in that fashion according to uniform evidence rules and legal maxims, whatever, which I can blabber on about forever,
Right.
about accurately. All of it to
Well,
be exposed and people be prosecuted, and but none of it works that way. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's like we gotta divide the right and the left, and the red pillars and the blue pillars, so they can argue back and forth with one another and divide and conquer.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. And Trump's the martyr now, who before this
Oh,
whole
sure.
fiasco.
Right.
You see,
Right.
it's all
He's being,
bullshit.
yeah. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. And well, just briefly, I didn't want to talk. I was just kind of bringing this up if anybody had seen it, but
Good.
apparently the Georgia DA, Fannie Willis, prosecuting Trump, she appointed her lover as a special prosecutor. And apparently he paid him like a lot of, like $500,000 or something. I don't know. Anyways, but it does seem, in the era of just like rampant corruption, fraud, and grift, right? This seems about right. This seems to check off all the boxes on the 2023, 2024 bingo cards, right?
Yeah, well, it could all just be media narrative too, like clickbait. In other words, Smith Modernization Act propaganda. And hey,
Sure.
let's draw up this scenario.
Mhm.
Because think about it. All right, just for a second, you got the Haldeman report, right? Well, why isn't Fox appealing the Dominion voting machine settlement then, pursuant the Haldeman report? And how do you have this report buried in Georgia, right, by the Secretary of State and the judge, and then indictments?
For a second, my audio. I saw that my audio was going out. William,
Okay.
are you there? Okay, sorry.
I'm still here, brother. Can you hear me?
I just didn't realize people. I was looking at the story and I didn't realize that people were yelling at me, screaming at me that there was static. So sorry, guys. Hopefully it's better now. My apologies. It's not my fault. It's like a StreamYard thing. All right.
Should I repeat something or should I let it go? You tell me. I don't know.
Well, I was going to go back to your point about the Dominion thing, which is just totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know that they won that case, right? Dominion, didn't they win a judgment?
Well, the Dominion settled. Of course, it's always a settlement.
They settled,
for 700 some odd million, because it never goes to jury trial because that would expose all the corruption. Okay, so that's why it's always a settlement. You see. And
yeah, so who knows? Yeah. maybe it was just a whole, maybe that was just complete theater, right? We're going to sue you. Yeah. Oh no, there's a settlement. Okay. Right? Like nobody has to know that anything happened at all.
Right.
But the basis of the case is just so absolutely, face-slappingly ridiculous because for 20 years everybody's said there have been, panels and hackers and people coming out saying these machines are completely exposed. Right. Anybody can hack into these machines. They're completely worthless. Like Dominion is terrible. We're using these, we shouldn't be using these machines for 20 years. And then, Fox says they might be vulnerable and Dominion comes out and sues them. Oh my God, slander, libel. What? There were 20 years of people saying out loud that your machine sucked. You didn't sue anybody until now? Okay.
Right. And even the DNC in 2016 was bitching about the machines,
It's been an open secret for a long time. An open secret that that they're hackable, they're horrible, they're vulnerable, and but they choose now to be, pick the time to defamation.
Right.
What do you mean defamation? Like you guys have shitty, it's provable that you have shitty equipment. That's not defamation. Whatever.
By design, Kevin, because the president's selected, not elected. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's still by design, bro. Right.
What did I say? What did I say? I actually, I said this as soon as Biden was elected, and all the. As soon as Biden was elected and everybody was like, the January 6th thing, J6 thing happened and all this stuff.
Oh,
And I
come
was
on.
like, the play now is to have all this drama around Trump running again,
Right.
and then Trump will win again, and everybody's heads will explode. Right? The idea is to have all this stuff happening for the next 4 years before Trump wins again, and everybody like freaks out. Oh my God! Oh, it's the end of democracy. Blah. Like all that stuff all over again. Like they're gonna replay the whole thing all over again. Uh, I don't know. To the end that they can just keep controlling people's, moving people around like brainless
Yes. Yes.
NPCs, over the all over the over the map, over the board or whatever. Anyways, whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. Meanwhile, you got, the World Health Organization, International Health Regulations, Dr. John Campbell talking about how, not only that, all the turbo cancers and all the crap that's coming down, like Dr. Luc Montagnier predicted. Remember about what's going to happen if people keep getting jabbed? Holy shit, you
Yeah.
know. But of course, the FDA. Oh, we can't talk about that.
Well, who said someone else, was it Brett Weinstein recently said, or Brett Weinstein or someone else? I don't know. Somebody said, I can't remember, but that well, now we're walking into
I know.
bad territory. I can't really get into it. Anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
let me cover some things, and maybe I'll jump over
Yeah.
to Rockfin sooner than
Oh,
later.
cool. All right, Kev. Thanks
All
for
right.
taking the talk to me.
All right. Peace. I don't know. PBN is entertainment, not a science channel. I mean, it's not. I'm not a science channel. I'm a news channel. Some news is pretty good entertainment. I don't know. Well, most of the news is entertainment. But I'm not specifically a science channel, nor have I ever claimed to be. But I do cover scientific things. I try to, or cover things scientifically, like with data and evidence. So, but I'm not mad at you for saying that I'm entertainment, and I hope that you're entertained. Because what else do we have, right? What else do we have? Anyways, there's somebody in my Rockfin chat called Fed Op. Yeah. Anyways. I don't, whoever this person is, same person, same different, Langley. What are the names? Side hustle, whoever, is all the same person. But you got, the person that's in the chats. You're not really doing. You're not really. I don't know what the point is. The point is to get me to like respond to you and like get me and also to be a demon. You're literally a demon. Like what do demons do? Demons just like scream, insanities. And that's, you're not trying to make a point. You're not trying to have a conversation. You're not trying to have a nuanced, idea around things. Your whole purpose is to, shout these accusations of, you're, I don't know, whatever, anti-Semitic, you're a Holocaust denier. Yesterday was funny. Just like, just ranting. Without any, there's no logic behind what you're saying. There's no like reasoning. There's just like, you're just shouting, accusations at people. Like you're literally just, I don't know, just a crazy person. So I don't know, whatever. You don't really sound like somebody that anybody wants to listen to or have a conversation with. So I don't know. I just don't really know the point. I don't get the point of these. these ops that show up in the chats, I don't really get the point of it, because you're not really doing anything. Mostly probably just hanging out and trying to listen in, I guess, surveil while trying to stir up some things. I'm not really sure. I don't know I don't get what the point is. This is kind of funny. From Paul Beckwith. I wonder, how's everybody doing on Twitter? You all watching on the Twitter? Well, I can't really tell if you're watching on the Twitter. So hopefully you're watching on the Twitter. I can't tell until later. Oh yeah, this is pretty good. I actually have to show you guys this. This is funny. Here's some entertainment before we get to the next thing. This is funny. You believe in demons named Karen? Communism. That's what's that's what's underneath climate hysteria is communism. Like if you want some good old left right boondoggery, this is the greatest. But I laughed out loud when I saw that. It's like these people don't even know what communism is or what socialism is. They don't even understand. It's like I don't know. People confuse communism with fascism or totalitarianism. They don't understand what it actually means or what it actually is. So, people that throw around the communism word are just complete lunatics who should just go back to school for one thing, and stop mixing up words that don't mean what they mean and using them to label things that aren't what they are. So I don't know. And then there's and they're saving democracy from fascism, and then replacing it with like even bigger and better fascism, or something. I don't know. Nobody knows what anything means anymore. The meanings of words have been changed. Nobody, here's Klaus Schwab telling you that libertarianism is the anti-system movement, and we have to watch out for libertarianism. Somebody says he looks actually scared here. Well, I don't know if he looks scared. Klaus Schwab shows signs of fear talking about anti-system movement. But he's telling you that libertarianism is the way. But hold on.
The present system is, you have this anti-system movement. What we are seeing is a revolution against the system. So fixing the present system is not enough. Now there is, of course, a anti-system, which is called libertarianism, which means to tear down everything which creates some kind of influence of government into private lives. It's dismantling the system. You have this.
It's dismantling the system. I don't know. You also have, libertarians saying like, it's the government's bad, it's bad. It's basically the message that tells everybody that you have no agency and you can't get the government to work for you, and right, government's bad. We're gonna privatize everything. We're gonna auction everything out, that the government does to the highest bidder, because private corporations will do it so much better. Doesn't that play into what Klaus Schwab happened? He's the corporations will save the world. It's a meeting of the corporations where we will we want ESG and DEI and blah blah blah. Right? In a way, I felt like that was kind of the messaging was a little bit like the StreamYard demon is back. Is the sound going bad? Y'all? I mean, I don't have anything against libertarianism per se. I don't want to be hounded by rules and regulations and all that. Check. All right. I don't want to be hounded by rules and regulations everywhere I go, but rules and regulations can be good sometimes, right? Like don't dump garbage on the road. Don't rip out your catalytic converter and drive around with exhaust spewing into the air. I think that's bad, right? Government wants you to clean up the smoke coming out of your car. They want to control everything. I don't know. Some regulations are good, some not so good. Anyways. And the things that people lament, the corruption and the the regulations that people lament going right, the ability for agencies to actually legitimately regulate things is getting worse. And I hear people all the time saying like, why don't these people do the thing that they're supposed to do? Well, you're constantly trying to tell people to take that we shouldn't trust the government to do the things that they're supposed to do. And you don't want to hold them to account, and you don't want to pass, laws and regulations or support people that might actually take, the money out of the situation that is corrupting the situation, right? Like that, you can't get rid of that by like running away from the problem, because it's just going to get worse. And that's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. It's exactly what's been happening for 30 years. But you all know that's my thoughts on this, and I've already broken this down a million times. Anyways. Let's see. But according to the WEF, the World Economic Forum, we're about to see a catastrophe, a global catastrophe within 10 years. These are the people that are paid to spot risk. Can you all just go to the story? I don't want to open. No, I don't want to do all this. I don't really want to do all this. I hate just proprietary things. Hold on. I have this story somewhere else. Blah. This is actually from CNN, not from Apple News. Hold on. Hold on. You got to open the story from CNN in our app. Jeez. Whatever. Where is it? Can somebody please put the story in the right place so that we can look at it on the screen together? Come on, people. People pay to spot risks, see high chance of global catastrophe within 10 years. Humanity faces a perilous future marked by an explosion of disinformation. That's the first thing that's got to go. Disinformation. I hear what you're saying. And I believe in your right to say it, but that's disinformation, so therefore, no. Devastating. Also, artificial intelligence will turbocharge the disinformation and devastating effects of climate change. Gloomy outlook comes from an annual survey by the World Economic Forum of people paid to identify and manage global risks. Nearly 2/3 of the respondents expect an elevated chance of global catastrophes in the next decade, and about 30% expect the same in the next 2 years. While the report does not define a global catastrophe, it describes a global risk as an event that would negatively impact a significant portion of global gross domestic product, population, or natural resources. In a statement, the WEF said its latest report warns of a global risks landscape in which progress and human development is being chipped away slowly, leaving states and individuals vulnerable to new and resurgent risks. Results from the survey highlight a predominantly negative outlook for the world in the short term that is expected to worsen over a long time. Well, and, there is some validity to the idea that maybe people are trying to looks like things are going in a bad direction. So you can resist the messaging in it. They're just trying to tell me this stuff, but there is resisting the messaging or resisting the negativity, and I there's some value. If there's a big enough trend line going in a certain direction, and that direction is affect you, probably a good idea. And keep your eyes and your ears open and whatever. I should reread that again. What part are you talking about? Misinformation threat in huge election year. See, they're trying to they're worried about disinformation, or is this the disinformation? I don't know. What's up? You have a problem with the mic? Hello. Time in surveys near 20-year history, experts identify information 2 years. You see where they're going with this, right? Jesus.
Oh, hold on.
Hello. Are we back? I don't know why they're being so mean to me today. I'm not sure. Well, I think you can see where this is going, though. Right? They're trying to let you know that the misinformation is bad, and we're going to really have to clamp down on the misinformation. You see, this has been the message since Donald Trump was elected. He was elected because of misinformation. Because people were sharing things online and they were misinformed. people didn't know how to think for themselves and make their own decisions. They were making decisions based on misinformation. And we don't want that. We don't want people like influencing people to make stupid decisions and make the wrong decisions, right? Because, we don't want you making the wrong decisions, right? Right? We want you to make the right decisions, right? Yeah. Be smart. Be smart so we don't have to come over there and rough you up. Exactly, Salt Lakers. Wrong think. But this is a very good trick though, because it works on a lot of people. Especially if you put Trump in there. He was elected because of misinformation, because the Russians told us the bad things and their minds were not their own. What? No. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyways. So this is where they're going with this. And of course, the World Economic Forum. Of course, this is where they're going with this. Maybe this is a good follow-up to Klaus Schwab saying, "See, libertarianism, anti-systems. There's a movement." They don't want the government in your life, and so we must take them out with lasers. I don't know. I'm not even doing Klaus Schwab anymore. I'm doing like Zelensky and Klaus Schwab together again. So that's happening. That was Paul Beckwith. Temperatures around the world. Really pretty hot in China for January. Temperatures have risen significantly across China today. 30.7 C on January 9th. That's pretty warm. First 30 C in China this year. Next 20 C will come to Henan. 10 C will enter Xinjiang. First record-breaking wave will officially begin tomorrow. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. Oh, thanks. It started out pretty good, I think. My impression. I just went a little south. Here's an article about saving the Panama Canal from Steve Austin. I don't know if they're going to let me read this. So it's Bloomberg. Yeah, these jerks. Hold on. I don't know if I can get I don't like these paywalls. I mean, apparently it's due to drought. Are they reprinting this from the Seattle Times? Okay. Well then, here we go. No, Seattle Times, no. I do not want to subscribe. I don't need another subscription to a news thing I'm not going to read. I don't read the news. I just report it. How about that one? No, I do read the news. I can only read so much news. Vestiges of ancient forests tell the story of just how bad things are at the drought-stricken Panama Canal. A few hundred feet from the massive tankers hauling goods across the globe, giant tree stumps rise above the waterline. They're all that remains of a woodland flooded more than a century ago to create the canal. It's not unusual to see them at the height of the dry season. But now in the immediate aftermath of what's usually the rainy period, they should be fully submerged. It's a visible reminder of how parched conditions have crippled a waterway that handles $270 billion a year in global trade, and there are no easy solutions. Panama Canal Authority is weighing potential fixes that include an artificial lake to pump water into the canal, cloud seeding to boost rainfall. But both options would take years to implement if they're even feasible. With water levels languishing at 6 feet below normal, the Canal Authority capped the number of vessels that can cross. The limits imposed late last year were the strictest since 1989, when the conduit was shut as the U.S. invaded Panama to extract its de facto ruler, Emmanuel Noriega. Remember, for democracy, of course. Some shippers are paying millions of dollars to jump the growing queue, while others are taking longer, costlier routes around Africa or South America. The constraints have since eased slightly due to rainier than expected November, but at 24 ships a day, the maximum is still well below the pre-drought daily capacity of about 38. As the dry season takes hold, the bottleneck is poised to worsen again. That's why they're trying to build another one as quick as they can. The canal's travails reflect how climate change is altering global trade flows. Drought created choke points last year on the Mississippi River, the Rhine in Europe. Don't forget the Yangtze in China 2 years ago, in the UK. Rising sea levels are elevating the risk of flooding along the Thames. Melting ice is creating new shipping routes in the Arctic. Yeah, why don't you just use the Arctic, bro? You don't need the Panama Canal. You could go through the Arctic. Jeez. And that's exactly what they'll do. Anyways, in the long term, the primary solution to the chronic water shortages will be to dam up the Indio River, to build a dam, which will surely help the environment, because dams always help the environment, right? So great. Good job. And then drill a tunnel through a mountain to pipe fresh water 5 miles into Lake Gatun, the canal's main reservoir. Sounds good. Sounds like this is going to work out. The project, along with additional conservation measures, will cost about $2 billion. Cordoba estimates. He says it will take at least 6 years to dam up and fill the site. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is conducting a feasibility study. Why is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers doing this? Because they control it. They control everything. All right, so that's going on. I know there's lots of people that are like, no, man, they're doing this on purpose, bro. And maybe. But there is something to be said for the weather, or the lack of it, or the too much of it. I don't know, sure, they can control all the weather all over the planet all the time. I mean, I don't know how it takes an awful lot of energy to create like a drought the size of the drought affecting the Mississippi or the Yangtze or the Rhine, and have them all happen at the same time. That is a ton of energy. And if some madman on an island somewhere, secret lair, is doing all that, hats off, because that's a ton of energy. I don't know how you do that. And a drought in Panama at the same time. It's a lot of energy. Anyways, I mean, there you go. There's a factor in the ongoing unfolding of the, I guess, the slow breakdown of civilization that's going to happen by by one, several hands. It's going to be. Some people will certainly have a hand in trying to control the way it goes, in order to make more money or control what people do with their money. There's lots of angles, right? I'm sure the global players will have lots to say about what is going to happen as things unravel, but things are gonna unravel. Scott Andrews, it takes an insane amount of energy to warm the oceans. Yeah. And we've done a really good job of poisoning the planet. I just, stop talking about climate change for a second and just talk about the fact that humans are poisoning the planet. Did you see there was a guy, a scientist on Tucker Carlson interviewed? It's the sun. He says it's the sun. I mean, again, they always bring on the person that, I don't know. There's not a lot of other people really in the camp of this. I mean, not scientifically. There isn't a lot of data behind this. And I saw that somebody said this guy took money from petroleum folks, back in the early aughts. I don't know. But let's say, well, hold on. He says the whole problem of global warming is a complete nothing, Dr. Willie Soon told Tucker Carlson. He says he's 90% sure of the sun, not So that's a weird, that's also a weird way to say it. I'm 90% sure that it's the sun and not carbon dioxide is causing climate change. Climate czars are so out of their minds that they're misleading the public. I really find the whole problem of global warming is complete nothing, which means we should do nothing about it. Just go on and live life and adapt to it. I think that's what they're trying to get you to do, is just go ahead and live life and adapt to it, and just don't think about the fact that humans, the whole of human civilization, not just, not you personally, but the whole of human civilization is poisoning the planet as fast as we possibly can, right? Who sent me the thing about the nuclear waste? It was Paul Beckwith. They're trying to build like a nuclear waste facility right next to, is it the Ottawa River? Anyways, we're poisoning the planet. We don't know where to put the nuclear waste. We don't know where to put the waste from anything, from a lot of chemical processes or a lot of industrial processes. We dump it. We put it in holding ponds. We use it for other things. We put it in food. We put it in, in other industrial. We use it for other industrial processes. We don't know what to do with all the waste we create. So let's just not even talk about carbon dioxide. Let's just talk about how we're poisoning the planet hand over fist with nanoparticles of plastic, or microfibers, or endocrine disruptors, or on and on and on and on and on. The myriad ways in which we're completely destroying the fabric of life with all of our like man-made goodies. And I don't think, and nobody really can actually. Nobody ever denies that. Nobody's ever like, no, we're fine. We're totally not poisoning ourselves and the planet with pesticides and GMO foods, and totally not. Like nobody's on that team. Nobody's on team. We're not poisoning the planet. So it's so let's say you don't believe that carbon dioxide is causing the planet to heat up, but you do believe that we're totally poisoning the planet. Don't you think we should stop doing that? I don't know anybody who isn't on that team of like, let's not poison the planet to death. Don't you think we should stop doing that? Let's see. Hold on one second. I don't know, but people believe whatever they want to believe because it sounds good. Sounds good to me. Oh, here we go. The Guardian. Climate skeptic Willie Soon received $1 million from oil companies, papers show. Documents obtained by Greenpeace show prominent opponent of climate change was funded by ExxonMobil, right? Because corporations totally want to do the right thing. They totally don't want to destroy the planet. And they totally wouldn't make up a false story about climate change being a hoax or maybe not as bad as we thought it would be. They totally wouldn't do that in a think tank and then put that message out for decades. And they would totally love for you to repeat that story for free. They don't even have to pay you. You'll repeat it for free because you're smart. It's so goofy. It's so goofy. Big pharma bad. Oh, big oil? Not so bad. They're cool. Right? And on the other side of the political spectrum, big oil's bad. But big pharma, so they're okay. Would you guys get on the same team or something? Would you guys be able to, comprehend that it's the same thing on both sides? Maybe they're all trying to lie to you and stuff, and maybe you should be skeptical of all the bigs. I don't get it. It's just like big pharma bad, big ag is bad, big government bad, but big oil, no, totally fine. Fossil fuel's great. Like, what the fuck? Are you people like? What, do you even think about the things you say? Like, what the hell? Anyways, what's up, Joseph? How you doing?
Morning, Kevin.
Good morning, sir.
I just wanted to add to your current statements. Willie Soon is a policy advisor at the Heartland Institute.
Heartland Institute. There you go. Right here we go. Oh, I didn't even show people this article here. Yeah.
Right. And what's interesting is we don't ever hear any actual physics discussion from any of these physicists at these institutions.
Well, that's the thing is like, I didn't even, okay, my bad because I didn't even listen to this. I didn't really want to because I knew that he wasn't really going to bring any science to the table, right? It's all opinions. It's like, oh, I don't think it's bad. Same with the other lady that's running around that like Kim Iverson interviewed. I forget her name. Judy something.
I forget her name too, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's running around making the rounds, and she never brings any like, articles or studies or data. She's just like, I just think it's not a big deal, right? And this guy is like, I'm 90% sure it's the sun. Like, based on what? Did you bring they just never. I don't even have to watch it to know that he didn't bring any data with him. He didn't bring any here's the studies. Here's another study I'm pointing to from a prominent physicist or scientist or several scientists, right? Like that's
or the reasons. At least the reasons.
It's just like
right.
They never do. They're just like, it's just my opinion. Oh, that's how science works. It's just your opinion, bro. I'm totally with you. You're smart. Like, what the like, and this is repeated by people that are generally pretty good at picking apart other things that are based on like absolutely nothing. Oh, because we think so. Oh, that's not science. Did you
So
point
the
to a study?
I think why and I'm just, this is ad hoc, right? The reason that the door is open for them to do that is because CO2 is a very correlating effect or cause. It contributes. But because we've reduced our quote unquote science to just blaming CO2 for everything, which
Yeah.
it isn't the blame for everything at all,
Yeah.
it's easy to dismiss. And once they can dismiss so many stacks that are based on just observing CO2, I think it entitles them in their own minds to make certain assumptions.
Right.
And it's a dangerous game, obviously. But without teaching the public the argument in physics going on behind all these things, nobody is serving anybody on either side of the aisle of this.
Right.
And I have a huge problem with Paul Beckwith and some of the things he says, and yet I think he does great work. And I think his heart's in the right place, et cetera, et cetera, et
Well,
cetera. Sorry, Paul, I don't mean to pick.
yeah, and that's, I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's unfortunate because that's kind of the only way you can really judge a good source of information. Is their heart in the right place? Do you think their heart is in the right place, even if they get some things wrong?
Unfortunately.
And which is, my issue with a lot of like alternative journalists around specifically this issue, it isn't because I think that they're bad people. Like, I actually think that they are honest in the, honest in in their quest to talk about true things. And so it's hard for me because I actually enjoy their work on a lot of other subjects, but like when they get to this, I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on here.
And neither do they.
They don't, and they don't want to understand it, and that pisses me off, because for people who are so fervently involved in trying to uncover truths, when they get to this part, they just don't give a shit. And I'm just like, that's just that's just the fault of humans in general. Like, humans are, are fallible.
Yes, I would love to sit down or have some kind of conference with people like Willie soon and actually pick at the physics. And I don't think they can avoid knowing other than what they're saying once someone does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and people really do line up with things that just line up with them, with what they want to believe. Right. So there's just that line, and it's in most humans. And so, no, that's just how humans work, right? Like, there's a line at which people are willing to believe in things that are literally just belief and not based on anything. Like, it's because it aligns with something that they want to align with. And so at that point, it's not science or data or skepticism or anything.
Absolutely. That's the reason for the scientific method, is to eliminate your beliefs.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But people really, beliefs are stronger. Beliefs are incredibly strong in humans. And I can't really even say that that's a bad thing. Sometimes that's a good thing, right? Sometimes your belief in something is so strong that you can overcome, seemingly insurmountable obstacles. And so, like, on some levels, that belief thing is very helpful to humans, but it is also very damaging.
If I think it's, for myself at least, and I'm prone to not have beliefs, but I'm able to hold questions and unknowns, even if it scares the crap out of me. I can't not have the unknown there if I don't know how to explain it as a known.
Right.
And that's supposed to be the foundation of a scientific mindset. And someone in a position of a Willie Soon or Happer, they're supposed to be that. They're the pinnacle, the gatekeeper for that, because of their positions. Right.
Right.
So I don't forgive them so easily for having those beliefs.
Yeah.
It's
And that's
right.
the thing. The other thing too is that the powers that seek to control absolutely know this, have studied humans intensely. Edward Bernays and on and
For
on
sure.
have
For
studied
sure.
the deep, the deep emotional things that move us, and understand that those things are stronger than than your understanding of science or belief in science. And they know how to manipulate people, using those deep-seated beliefs, right? So, and that's exactly what this guy is doing, is manipulating people. According to a Greenpeace U.S. investigation, he's been heavily funded by coal and oil industry interests since 2001, receiving money from ExxonMobil, American Petroleum Institute, and Koch Industries, along with Southern. Since 2002, it is alleged every new grant he's received has been from either oil or coal interests.
Which goes right along with being an advisor at the Heartland Institute.
Right. And
Yeah.
in addition, Freedom of Information documents suggest that Soon corresponded in 2003 with other prominent climate skeptics to try to weaken a major assessment of global warming being conducted by the UN's leading climate science body, the IPCC. He's disclosed corporate funding he received in the 1990s. Anyways, so why are it's kind of ridiculous that we're listening to this person, right? And there's a
Why
lot of
aren't
people.
these
There's a lot of
people?
people out there lately, who have really, a lot of people who used to like Tucker Carlson, who are finding a new skepticism around Tucker Carlson being the new voice of like freedom of speech on Twitter. Well, you should really be skeptical of all of the things he's pushing out there, and especially this, right? He's interviewing somebody who's been funded by fossil fuel companies, who's part of the Heartland Institute, who has no regrets about this.
Well,
It just,
underneath all of this, to tell me if I am out of bounds, but it seems to me that if you go down the road of understanding global warming and humans' relationship to it, you are on the path to knowing or questioning the whole foundation of civilization at some point. And
yeah,
someone is, the smarter you are, or the more able you are to take in information, the more that has to be apparent. And I think that's the root of, or the tie between Tucker Carlson's brand of belief and Mr. Soon's brand of belief. That's the tie that binds. Not really religion or anything else. It's the religion is being human in a civilized world. And I see that in people I meet on the street or in the store. It's the same kind of thing. You cannot question our purpose in building these things and living this way apart from nature.
right.
And I really
Yeah,
believe that. And it's not just a belief; it's an anecdotal observation over a whole life.
yep, yep, yeah, and yeah. I mean, I find myself to be, more conspiratorial. The more I know, the more understanding I have about climate change, and I don't know if there is more to understand. I suppose there is. I understand the basic, premise, mechanisms, and everything that's going on. But like, yeah, it's when people try to separate my understanding of climate change from my understanding of how the world really works, it's like, no, they're not separate at all. They're actually hand in hand, part and parcel.
Yes,
It's
yes,
all the same thing. It's all connected, right? It's all the same thing. It has no,
absolutely.
there's
It's
no,
costing more and more per barrel of oil, more oil to get each barrel of oil, which is reflected in the futures and stocks and everything. Cost of living, all of that comes out of how much does it cost to get energy
mhm.
and materials. But you don't hear that so fervently in any conversation other than people like Nate Hagens, those that have already crossed the Rubicon.
Well, and there's so many people out there that are really quick to tell you like, no, that's not a problem. That's just all. That's some kind of that's some kind of hoax, that's some kind of weird theory that everybody's supposed to, choke down along with all the other communist ideas or something. I don't know about that one. It seems pretty based in science, and it also seems to be reflecting in real time the science, right? It's like you don't even have to. It's not a theory if the thing that you're understanding is actually playing out in real time. If the evidence that is actually the theory is correct is actually happening in real time, like it's a little less of a theory and more of a, this is a function. This is how it's working. You can see it working because it's working right in front of your eyes. Like, I don't know how far you have to remove yourself from reality in order to believe that something else is real. I don't know.
So could someone like Joe Rogan get these people at the same table, and have an actual open,
Sure. I mean, sure. I don't know. Sure. Joe Rogan is interesting because there was a time when he was, I heard him several times fervently say like, yeah, climate change is a thing. We're going to have to deal with it. It's a thing. He actually challenged Alex Jones on it famously. There's a really great interview with Joe Rogan and Alex Jones where Joe Rogan like fact checked everything that Alex Jones said. It was like an exercise. Like he had him on and they were talking and they were having a good time. But every time Alex Jones would say something, he'd be like, hold on, fact check. And the one thing, so here's the thing, to Alex Jones's credit, he was actually right about most of the things. But the one thing that it didn't last long on was climate change. He started talking about climate change and Joe Rogan challenged him on it. And he just kind of, blah 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 boo bap and moved on, right? He just kind of like mealy mouthed his way out of it. And I was like, oh, see, that was the one. I was like, see there, did anybody notice that one? Nobody talked about that part and nobody noticed that part. And I was like, good on Joe Rogan for keeping it real. But now Joe Rogan has moved into the space of, because it's fashionable to question the people, the WEF and the people trying to do nefarious things in the name of climate change, which I think is actually a true, it's just the same as
denial.
It's the same with Will Falk and Max Wilbert and all the people that are saying like, bright green lies, and Derek Jensen saying like this, the new renewable, the new green technology is not green. I think that's questioning what the people in charge are trying to tell you is the path out of, the climate change catastrophe is it's totally the wrong path. It's totally a falsehood. It's totally a fallacy. So I think you should question that happening, but that gets mixed up in the message that climate change isn't real. It's
correct.
You really have to differentiate. Hey, this thing is wrong, and this thing is a hoax. But climate change is not a hoax. Like you really have to spell that out for people because it's too easy for people to go, yeah, see what they're doing?
Well,
they're trying to get you to do the things of climate change. Climate change is bullshit. No, dude, climate change is going to whoop your ass. Climate change is going to take you out, but the thing they're trying to tell you about how we're going to fix it is bullshit. You really have to figure that one out.
To reach people, then the communicators, that means you and Joe Rogan and the actual mainstream have to include materials with CO2, material extraction with CO2, and have actual physicists duke it out in the public. It's the only way. Otherwise, people are just not going to know which camp's right in the end. They're just going to pick their favorite presenter and they're going to stick with them. All the way up to Neil deGrasse Tyson, he does the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
My opinion.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, thank you.
Yeah, man. I gotta take off. It's getting a little bit late in the day, but thank you for calling in.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
Hey guys, I'm bringing this show to you every single day for free 99, and so I do depend on you and your support of the show, contributions, whatnot, and keeping the show going. And so many of you do support the show already, I really appreciate it. But here are the ways you can support. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews. You can Cash App me at Red Llama Music. You can Venmo me at Kevin Sandblum. You can PayPal.me/Kevin Sandblum. You can Zelle me at Kevin Sandblum at protonmail.com. I'm going to be gone for several days, going out of town. So I'm going to see you guys on, I think Tuesday and at the outside Wednesday. So I may be gone for a week. But here's the deal. What I'm going to try to do is maybe while I'm gone do like pop in and do either a call-in show or a YouTube show, like on my phone, because those are the two. Those are the two platforms I can do like straight from my phone. So I'll probably see you guys either Tuesday or Wednesday. Back for like the regular time. But if I can see you in the interim, I will see you. So thanks everybody, and I will see you in a couple of days, and I appreciate y'all. Until next time, peace.